welcome back to the channel today for another video on Project Cars 2. Today we're back at Watkins Glen after doing the ACR time trial. I wanted to see what the difference was in lap times between the 488 GT3 and the McLaren 650S GT3. So I thought I'd get a setup done in the Ferrari and see how fast we could get it. And as I expected, it is a lot faster than the McLaren. It's just got a lot more acceleration and speed in through the gears, etc. And also it really does handle really nice as well, especially once you get rid of the oversteer on the braking, etc., and you just get the setup more stable at the rear end. You can really start putting the power down really early with this car, and I've managed to get myself to the rank 1 spot on the time trial leaderboard for the 488 GT3 at Watkins Glen. It was a track that's been pushed quite hard because it was on a community event, although I think the community event was default setup, although it was when the game first released, when the Ferrari was even more overpowered. So there's probably a little bit of time, which was in terms of this without the setup, needing the setup, it would have been faster when they did that event. But obviously setups are worth a bit of time anyway, so I think we would have got ourselves in the top 6 or so if we would have participated in that event anyway with default setup, but maybe even higher. But we managed to get ourselves to rank 1 with the setup, and it's a very nice lap of a 1 minute 41.3. I'm going to let you guys watch the lap at full speed, and then I'm going to go through a track guide slowing it all down. I hope you enjoy the lap, and I'll be back very soon. Okay, so you can see there the lap was really good, put us in the #1 spot, but there was a few areas where we could have gained a little bit of time, so I'm going to try and help you guys out and getting them ideally the perfect lap in. So going into turn 1, we did this corner really well and actually got a really good pull out the corner. So looking out for the 300 board, you're going to brake just short of the 300 board there. You can see downshifting it just short of the 300 board, staying in 3rd gear and try and skim the apex. Try not to skim it too hard though, because it will unsettle the rear, and you can run yourself just onto the curb there without getting a track penalty, but you have to be very careful not to run too far wide. Going through the gears, you got to upshift very early with this Ferrari 488 and try and keep the right hand tyre on that curb as close as you can, and this is where we made a little mistake. We didn't get that left hand tyre onto the curb on the left hand side, and it does lose you a bit of time. You can see I was trying to do it on every corner, got it there pretty much perfectly there. Obviously that's an easy corner to do, that one, but the one before we didn't get the turn in perfectly, but we still did it okay. Then we're going to look out for the 300 board on the left hand side. slowing it down there, down into 4th gear. So stay in 4th gear, use all the curb on the right hand side, and then again the curb on the left, try and skim that bit of dirt and grass, and again on the entry into that corner there, and then just staying in 4th gear all the way through the corner, really keeping good momentum throughout that corner, you can see there, and then down into 3rd gear as you go through this corner briefly, just to get the car back into the angle that I wanted it to be, and then early upshift into 4th gear and accelerate all the way through the corner, and then down. You're going to look for the curb on the, as you see the curb approach on the left hand side. Once you see that downshift in 3rd gear, we actually did that a little bit too early and probably didn't get on the accelerator early enough here. Lost a little bit more time, but nothing drastic. We did it okay. There was probably maybe half a tenth left in that. Then we're going to be looking out for the 200 ball, braking in between the 200 and the 100, down into 3rd gear. Do not go into 2nd gear for this corner. Stay in 3rd gear and try and keep the car to the right hand side there. You see, trying to skim it onto that right hand side as much as possible. Accelerate out the corner in 3rd gear, and then all the way to the next braking point. You're going to look for the 300 board again, braking just past the 300 board with this time, in between the 300 and 200, down into 2nd gear, and try and get the car as close to that curb as we can. We nearly lost the rear end a bit too much as we braked a little bit late, but we managed to save it. Accelerating out the corner in 3rd gear now. Then we're going to look to brake just as you see the curb. You've got to try and judge it by visual. That's how I do it. Staying in 3rd gear, and then just lift off the throttle and let it coast a bit before you put maximum power down, or you run the risk of running into that barrier on the right hand side. Then we're going to look out for the 100 board on the right. That's where we're going to turn it just before that 100 board. Get onto the curb if possible, accelerate out the corner with maximum throttle when you feel the grip is there. We just got away without getting a penalty there. We really did push the limits. And then down into 3rd gear, try and get it into this curb really early so you can get the power nice and early. You can see there, we lost a bit of time on this little section from the ghost behind us, so there was more time available in this lap. I think we could have actually got it down to a very low 41, maybe 41.1, 41.0, but I was happy with a 1 minute 41.3. It was top of the leaderboard and rank 1 obviously. So what we'll do now is we'll have a little look at the setup. You can see there, put us to number 1. I'll show you on the screenshot, rank 1 in the world for that track in that car. So we're going to have a look at the setup. Running 2.5 on the wing, this really does give you reasonably good speed down the straight because the rear's only on 5 downforce and the front's got really good turning. Brake distribution, I really do need to run the balance towards the front on this car, otherwise it's just going to go on you in the rear, very much like the Z4 did back on Project Cars 1. I really do prefer running at least 60 on that brake balance. It just settles it down a fair bit. Obviously also the brake pressure around 90%, 90 to 95%. If you run it high, you're going to kick that rear end out again. Cambers, fairly medium-ish, not too low though, because you obviously got to carry a lot of speed through some of these corners, so you need to run about 2.5. Caster angle, you do need to run that lower, because if you run it higher, it's really twitchy, this car, so bring that down a bit. That's how you can control some of the twitchiness with this car, also with the caster angle. It just basically, the higher that angle, the more sensitive your steering is going to feel, and it will handle better sometimes, but with this car you want to bring it down just to smooth the car out in the steering. With regards to the toe angle, obviously -1 on the front is pretty much standard what I run on most cars. There is a few cars that you might run a bit more on that, but also toe in angle on the rear, 0.03. It's about right. Also with the bump stop, this car does like to run lower on the bump stops, so 5.5. It's very similar to how I used to do the setup with the Z4 with regards to that, although you do need to run the rear settings within the suspension quite low and just get a bit more grip to the rear with this car. Going through to the engine braking on 1, not on 0, because you do need a little bit of engine braking just to help this stabilize this car. But again, I don't like running high engine braking. It's exactly the same as I did on the original Project Cars. Traction control around 20%. You can play with that. It's just a case of trial and error with that, how you feel best. With regards to the differential, if we can get there, you see now, again, on the bias ratio towards the coast, you have to go, it's pretty similar to what I needed to do on Monza as well. You need to go higher on that setting and preload on 90. You probably can go to 100, it will just bog the car down a bit though if you do that. Power ramp, obviously quite high again because we're running quite a high preload, and then on the coast 35. This enables you to lift off when you're lifting off going through the corners. It enables the car to carry a bit more speed and not understeer. So if you want a bit more stability at the rear, consider adding a bit more to that coast ramp. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave you with the replay of that lap. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy the setup. Hope it helps you get faster and put on some really good lap times in qualifying. Do remember though that you will need to alter the radiator vents and also the engine vents for qualifying slightly, and also for races you're going to have to open them up quite a bit. This was a time trial, so I'm going to run the vents as low as possible, but with regards to qualifying you're going to have to add up maybe the brakes to 20 to 15 for a 3-lap run or etc, and obviously the radiators you're going to have to add them to at least 25 to 30 etc. Anyway guys, I'll be back very soon with more Project Cars setups, and obviously a set of Corsa setups, and obviously race videos from GT Sport, and I'm going to try and get some race videos on Project Cars 2 with commentary as well. Going to try and get a lot more variety in terms of the different types of content I'm providing. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll be back with more of these videos soon. So don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button, and also give this video a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Thanks a lot.